looking at?
Ah, stupid battle droids, get out of the way! Hello there. This is General Grievous, and you are watching Southern Comic Geek.
Roger, roger.
What's up, YouTube? Southern Comic Geek coming to you with a live unboxing. That's right, we are live. At least I am at this time. And hopefully you will watch this live. But if you catch it on the rewind, that is good as well. Doing this kind of early into the afternoon in Central Time. And not sure how many people, if any, will show up. Dale of Suspense. What is going on? So yeah, not sure how many folks might show up, but that is fine. Just decided to do it live as opposed to pre-recorded. And yeah, so there you go. There you go. But before we get into all of this comic book goodness, go ahead and smash that like button. That right there. And hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification. And so that when videos like this drop ever so randomly, you are one of the first people to know and can make the conscious decision as to whether or not to watch it now or later. As long as you watch it, we appreciate you. Talking about people, we appreciate the list of channel members, people that are supporting the channel through their monthly membership, whether through YouTube and or Patreon. If you are interested in joining either or both of those membership groups, then the links are in the description below. Now, there are obviously membership benefits that go along with that, and not the least of which are our monthly giveaways. And we are fixed to be wrapping up at the time of this recording, fixed to be wrapping up the November giveaway, which is a Amazing Spider-Man 252, a 8.5 newsstand copy, the first appearance of the black suit. So if you want to get in on that, there are multiple ways to do so. You can be a member of one of those aforementioned membership groups. Each membership gets you 10 entries to win that. And also for every $1 of super chat given in live shows like this or auctions that I do here on the channel, you will get 1 entry to win. And so those are the ways that you can play. What is going on, Perry? Hola. Big O, what is going on with you as well, good sir? Some of you are on the road visiting some fam, so hopefully everything is going okay with you. But those are the ways that you can get in. So you got today and you got tomorrow to get in. Obviously, with the super chats, it's got to be live like this. But the memberships, as long as you do it before month's end, you will be good as well. There will be, before I forget, I will be doing an auction here on my channel. What is going on, Mark, with Legion of Comics? How are you doing? But I will be doing an auction here tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. 7 p.m. Central Time. It's already up if YouTube's doing its job and showing scheduled shows. But yeah, it's already up, and we'll be doing that 7 p.m. Tonight, myself and some other sellers. So hit that bell notification so that you won't miss it if you want to catch in on some of that. So let's check this stuff out. Got this in from 36 Chambers. 36 Chambers, I guess he's just now getting back into kind of the auction game. I've seen him on a couple of auctions. Happened to pop in and see him offering up some already pre-done sketch covers on the cheap. These were only like $40 for the sketch cover plus shipping. So these were ones that appealed to me. These are ones I picked up. Batman and the Outsiders, #1. So check out that red hood. Got the Joker being all maniacal back there in the background. So pretty dope. I have gotten a sketch cover from him before with the Mandalorian and Baby Grogu. But yeah, pretty dope looking cover. And then also this Star Wars #1 was General Grievous. And if you were here for the introduction or seen the introduction in the past, Matt Woods, I think his last name is, who does that introduction. He is the actual voice of General Grievous, as well as the Battle Droids. Zero Kenobi. But there is that. Now, if you are a Bloodshot fan or if you're a Jason David Frank fan, you're going to recognize this cover. Bloodshot number 14. This is the Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe cover. And of course, that is Jason David Frank, who played Bloodshot in that movie. Not the movie where Vin Diesel, not Vin Diesel, but this is when Jason David Frank played Bloodshot. Then we got, so I got those from 36 Chambers. I got these from Hope Nuts over on Instagram. I think he goes by something else now, but that's what I know him by. That is Hulk Nuts. I think him and Bronze Age Nerd is doing a auction of some kind maybe next month. But we got TMNT number four. So this is from the IDW run. We got Hulk, the official movie adaptation. I'm assuming that this is the Eric Bana movie adaptation there. Got Tales to Astonish number 87. At last, the secret of the Hulk revealed for all the world to see. So some 12-cent goodness right there. Then we got the Totally Awesome Hulk number 20. I think that would be the first appearance of Weapon H, maybe. And then we've got Totally Awesome Hulk number 21. Bangers. That's right, 12-cent bangers. Then we've got Incredible Hulk number 91. Now, this one was the hardest to come by, and I have been purposely just organically collecting the Hulk. In the case of Hulk Nuts, and he had these Totally Awesome Hulks posted on his Instagram page to sell, and I knew he had a bunch of other Hulk stuff. I said, you wouldn't happen to have Incredible Hulk 91, would you? And he said, I do, and here it is. That's right. So this was the last one I needed to complete Volume 2. So this is, which Volume 2 basically goes up to where the title changes to Incredible Hercules for a few issues. But, this was the last one I needed. So this is right before 92 leads up into Planet Hulk, and then past that, it's Planet Hulk. We got Totally Awesome Hulk number 22. Yep, there you go. We got Incredible Hulk Annual number 20. Now, seem to be on a Hulk kick, but I do have some other stuff besides Hulk here today. But when I got my Sharon's Pops and Plants, just wanted to stop in real fast, show support. Appreciate that. Sharon's Pops and Plants. But yeah, so I had done my unboxing video when my Hulk 180, 81, and 82 came back, signed by Roy Thomas. So when I had done that, somebody made mention about a book, or no, I don't. It might have been when I showed my foreign Hulk 181, which the British version that has the Herb Trimpe face drawn, as opposed to the John Romita face that's drawn on the English version and most that you see. And I made comment about that. And so somebody, a viewer, had actually commented in the comments below that there was an actual article written about the face and all that kind of stuff that I did not know about. And so I picked up Alter Ego 124. So after they did that, and I wish I could remember who it was, because they actually have a YouTube channel as well. And they actually did a video about it after they commented on my post. And I did not know about it. I have since seen other Alter Ego publications. It was a Roy Thomas Incredible Comics fanzine. Everything I've ever heard about Roy Thomas, which kind of makes sense with all the people that he was a young guy at that point, getting to know Jack Kirby and Stanley and all those folks. But he's just kind of an encyclopedia of comic knowledge, so it kind of makes sense that he would have had a magazine like this. But I have not seen until I saw this posted online that somebody had two available. I said, "Give me one." And this one's actually in pretty good shape. A lot of these magazines, they'll come beat all up because nobody thought to even keep them in good shape. So this is an interview done with Herb Trimpe talking about his stuff with Hulk. Right. Marie Severin, of course, she was a colorist and actually redrew the face of the king size annual Hulk that Jim Steranko did, rather. So this has got a bunch of art in here talking about Herb Trimpe. And at one point in here, he makes mention that that was not the face that I drew on Hulk 181. It was actually John Romita Sr.'s. And Stan Lee had actually cut and pasted that face on the original art to make it happen. What's going on, Comic Mag Musings? How are you? These are just so these are fun to get. Kind of reminds me of Wizard to an extent, the articles section of Wizard that you can find various interesting articles related to characters and or creators that you are interested in. So yeah, there's this just long deal about Herb Trimpe and all of that. So there's some other ones, and again, I've seen some of the alter egos, but none I've ever really wanted to pick up so much as I wanted to pick up this one. And boom, came in today. And then we've got from the Cleavers. The Cleavers, Kevin and Amy will be actually on the auction tonight, Monday night here as I record this, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. I picked this up from them. They had Quantum and Woody number 11. This was just a cover that did not have, look at that reflection cover, Steven Spock. But the only reason I got that was because I was getting these anyway, and that is Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 1. It's a 9/8. It's one of the photo cover there with IG-88 and Boba Fett. So they had that. And then this one they've had for sale for quite some time. I finally pulled the trigger on it, and I just guess I'll leave it in the saran wrap, but it's actually in saran wrap as opposed to like a Mylar bag. You put some of these in, and it's in a thicker CGC case, and I really don't know why, because these books typically aren't. What's going on, J Hood Creative? How are you? Appreciate you for listening in. And speaking of which, I just picked up a book from somebody on Instagram that you inked, and I'm going to get with you about getting you to sign it for me or something. Okay, so this is Promiscuous Time Traveler. We are again. Yes. What's going on? Nice to see my face. Appreciate you for dropping in, good sir. This is Dark Knight number 3, or Dark Knight 3, the Master Race, number 996, and it is signed, count that, 4 different times. That's right. It's signed by Frank Miller. It's signed by Jim Lee. Signed by Klaus Janson, and is signed by Andy Kubert. So signed 4 different times. So I like me some Sigs. I like me some Batman. And so this was touching all the right spots, and decided to pick this up. Even though I'm not a fan of the Dark Knight 3 Master Race, I really passed the original, any of them. So I think Frank Miller has done his best work, and they're just not singing for me like it used to. Then we've got so Amy and Kevin leave it to comics. Decided to they got some stickers. I want to say that's Moon Knight because he does like Moon Knight, but kind of looked more like Taskmaster with that mask on his face like that. So maybe it's just an obscure him as a superhero. I don't know. I don't know. So I did pick up these right here, and we're going to grab this one here. We got some randomness. Let me do this. I'm going to drop the invite into the chat if anybody is available and wants to hop on to show some books off or talk some books or whatever like this while I put these together. Then you are certainly welcome to do so if I recognize you. So I originally had not intended to get this line of Marvel Legends just because I wasn't a big fan enough of the Build-A-Figure or a big fan enough of all the characters that I wanted to go to the expense. Having said that, what's going on, Big Will? Big Will just had an auction over on his channel last night. Picked up some books from him that you will probably be seeing again. But go check that out. I'm sure that he is. I know some books did not sell at least last night. Go check that out and see if he's got anything that would be of interest to you. So this is one of the ones that I really wasn't hip about, besides Cyclops being, the main man douche for the X-Men. Wasn't hip on that, but I have a one of those retro card figures with the classic X Factor costume. And so it's so close to this that I was like, I don't really want it. But found this at Rick's in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was 30% off for Black Friday. And this was the last piece that I needed to complete for what's going on, Who Dat? For this right here. And that is the Sentinel that we were introduced to in House of X, I guess, or Powers of 10. And the this one was really difficult to put the heads in. That's what she said. But anyways, this was difficult from the standpoint of where the head kind of drops down. It's just getting a good enough angle at it to get that in there. But we figured it out. We soldiered through it. So now now it is complete. And we got that out there. So Cyclops, you can change the head out there. He's got the and this is what the other one does too. So I think they just really, really did a repaint job on this. So I think because I got the other one with that doing like he's touching how you used to have to touch his visors to shoot the blaze. And this one kind of does that too. It's an awful lot like it. Anyways, I think I'm going to keep him just the normal there. You could see I have all these toys right here on my desk, and it's getting to be a little bit much. So I finally picked up all of the Age of Apocalypse Marvel Legends figures. The last one I needed was the Rogue, and if you saw my first episode of the Thanksgiving haul, you noticed that was the first thing that I picked up. So I was able to complete that. And my kids ever since has been saying, man, when are you going to put it together? Put it together. Put it together. Dad, open it. Dad, open it. And so that's what we are going to do. Big Will up in the house. I actually bought Big Will's Man Thing. Strange. Last night. But talking about that, not that I want to really talk about Big Will's Man Thing, but it was a Bernie Wrightson cover, and it was a Hulk issue, and Bernie Wrightson done the cover to it. Now have Hulk 185, I think, forward. So pretty stoked to get that. So David Nakayama actually does the art for the Age of Apocalypse run. So the box that you see, David Nakayama, who's been doing a lot of covers lately, especially for Spider-Man Boo and Unknown Comics, he actually done that Apocalypse there. So if you were a kid in the 90s and you were an X-Men fan, you knew what Age of Apocalypse was. Now, just like they've done with every series, because nobody has any creativity nowadays, just like you've done with every series, they've kind of run it into the ground. So they've revisited Age of Apocalypse multiple times since then. It's like, why don't you just hey, that was a good series for as long as it lasted and kind of go on from there. No, we can't leave it alone. Let's milk that cow. It can't be milked anymore. Having said that, I do have all of the original series. Each one of them has a gold cover that has all of them in there. There's a thing called extra editions. Basically, there's second prints that I have for the series as well. So still an Age of Apocalypse fan in. That is during the time that newsstands were getting a little less common. And so I have some of the newsstands and the directs on that. I'm kind of careful. This is Shadow Cat. So AKA Kitty Pryde, AKA, Sprite, all that kind of good stuff. So in the Age of Apocalypse storyline, she's grown up, as you can see here, and she married Colossus. Spoiler alert for you, but Colossus accidentally kills her in the final battle with Apocalypse. And so let's see what we got here. We're going to so she actually had like Wolverine type claws that she had in the storyline. And so that's one of the options that you can trade these out. The Varangian Vigilante. What is going on, good sir? How are things on the other side of the planet? So as much as I was complaining about her arm's flexibility, these hands come off fairly easy. And that is good. And that pops right back on there. So yeah, so she has these outer claws there. Not the Kate Pryde I guess maybe now in the Marauder days. This is more like what she was in Age of Apocalypse, but definitely grown up. And she had the chest part, main body cavity there of Colossus. So I need to be careful not to lose these little extras. I have a bag. I really need to do better about all those little accessories. I have a bag that has all of them in there. So if I ever get ready to change them out, it's going to be kind of persnickety having to go through all that stuff. We got White Taker Cool Come Collected, a.k.a. Ruben Guzman, a.k.a. the guy that comments before everybody else on anybody's videos across YouTube. What is going on? Also, I guess, a.k.a. the Rap Master. He was on DJ Link's channel the other night, dropping the rhymes. So this is the Rogue figure. So in the Age of Apocalypse storyline, if you're not familiar with it, Rogue actually ends up with Magneto, mainly because of his ability to do magnetic manipulation. He's able to touch Rogue, whereas Gambit is not. So Gambit was a part of the X-Men when he felt like that there was something going on between him and Magneto. He left on not such great terms. Magneto and Rogue in that storyline have a son who they named Charles. And so that is that. So we got Rogue here. It's interesting that they have these little things in the back there because not all figures have that. So I guess I can use one of those stands where she's just standing up, maybe in a fighting stance, because she does have the there we go. Change out the fist there. Appreciate that. Let's see. So like she's ready for battle. Now she actually had a cape in the storyline. I guess they just decided to go chintzy on me. So she had the left arm, right arm of Colossus. And Colossus has the fist as well as the open grasp. Put all these over here. Appreciate anybody for hanging out, whether you're watching or on the rewind or just listening. I appreciate all of that. Again, we will be having an auction here tonight on the channel, 7 p.m. Central Time. If you're looking to get any books, got a bunch of deals. Especially if you saw my video that I dropped yesterday with the 43 mystery boxes I got from Comic Food. Those books that I didn't go into the PC are those books that I haven't sold yet. You will be seeing them. So there were any, if you watched that and there were any, oh, okay, I didn't realize, man, this one came with a lot of little accessories. So this is the Sabretooth figure. If you remember back to the Toy Biz days, they had a Sabretooth figure, but this is a much better figure for sure. And not only did it have the Colossus head sculpt, and then it has the little bandana. What do you call those? Tangles behind there? Like that? What's funny is superhero costumes. And there you go. Dadgummit! There we go. Now I'll put this on. So Colossus wears a bandana as a metal guy. As if you just see that many metal. You won't recognize me from the last metal guy. Yeah, okay. So there is that. So that's the part that comes with Colossus comes with the Sabretooth. But Sabretooth also has two different ponytail options. So they are exactly the same. So not sure why you would have two ponytail options, Sabretooth, but okay. So Sabretooth has two exactly the same ponytail options. Greetings. What is going on, Scott? Hoarder's Hide. Yeah, that's right. Conniption fit. So Sabretooth also has hands where he could hold something or the fist. I would think it would be better to have more of the claw type deal, but whatever. And okay, so you got two ponytails because you got two different head sculpts. Both have ponytail options. Okay, whatever. So this is the mean, grisly looking face of Sabretooth. And what's going on? Bigger shot, Burger, Burger, and the more friendly Sabretooth. So if you recall, Sabretooth was a bad guy starting out. X-Men Universe #1, Scarlet Witch dies. That's when Wolverine leaves the X-Men. And then that's also when Sabretooth leaves Apocalypse. So he was part of Apocalypse's Hounds. And then Wild Child, which was an earlier release for the Marvel Legends, is just that, a wild child. He's more like the lapdog or whatever of Sabretooth. So Sabretooth kind of plays the part because Wolverine and Jean Grey go off and do their own thing. Sabretooth plays kind of the feral part of the X-Men that Wolverine, we know in this day, and the 616 normally plays. We got Biggie Shack up in the house. What is going on, Biggie? And I guess because of the TV shows were probably the reason why we actually got a Legion figure. I'm surprised we got a Legion figure. But again, probably have to do with the TV show. And for those people not familiar with Age of Apocalypse, Legion comes to, and he has all of his split personalities are all of a sudden together. Doesn't he look like Kid and Play? Like he should just drop some rhymes with that hair. But he all of a sudden comes to himself, all of his powers, because every one of his personalities has its own power set. So he comes to himself. He has all his powers combined. He goes back in time to kill Magneto, thinking that would make him have a better life with his dad, which is Professor X, and his mom. Professor X jumps in the way, saves Magneto, and he dies. So that's how Age of Apocalypse comes to be. That he has got the right leg in here. There we go. So that right leg was fairly easy to put on. The McFarlane figure for Bane was a devil to put on for sure. For sure. We got 9 folks up in here, either on YouTube and or Twitch. Appreciate that. And for those of you who watch it on the rewind, appreciate you as well. Then we got Cyclops. Seeing another Cyclops figure so soon. And this Cyclops for the Age of Apocalypse, you'll notice, has one eye because Wolverine poked the other out. That's why Wolverine only has one hand. Cyclops does work for Apocalypse in the Age of Apocalypse storyline, but then at the end kind of realizes, hey, I'm not doing the right thing, so on and so forth, and leaves his employment and helps the Resistance. He had the other leg for Colossus. And check out that wavy hair. You got some Fabio vibes going on. I mean, if this costume isn't 90s, I don't know what is. The costumes of Forever Alone Cyclops. Yep. Because Havoc in that story, Bedlam from the Deadpool movie, Bedlam's first appearance is in Factor X, which is the Age of Apocalypse version of X Factor, and he was a member. That's his first appearance, is in Age of Apocalypse, actually. I don't know if he's ever been in the 616, but that's his first appearance there. And Alex, or Havoc, Cyclops' brother, does not go good, and he has to fight his own brother, which is problematic because their powers don't work on each other. So this is Iceman. Iceman. Not a big fan of current Iceman, but old Iceman, yeah, I mean, this was just X-Men's version of Spider-Man in the corny jokes, ladies' man. Of course, Spider-Man settled down a lot sooner. I guess maybe Sorry about that. I guess maybe a better way to say it is he's the X-Men's version of Johnny Storm. So, ladies guy. And it wasn't until much later, after Emma Frost took over Cyclops or Iceman's body, and that he realized that he had the ability to not only go from the snowman that he originally was in X-Men 1 to the crystalline type Iceman that we mainly know, that he could actually do into bigger shapes. Well, in the Age of Apocalypse, he already has that. So as you can see, the ice spikes and such. Yes, classic Iceman for sure. Sleepy Reader 666. What's going on? So this is the Age of Apocalypse Iceman. He also had the like wider claws if you were reaching, as if he was reaching for something. I don't know. Might just leave like the regular hands for now. And he also had the other arm for Colossus. So yeah, so we got Colossus, full figure Colossus as the builder figure for Age of Apocalypse. So, I mean, he's got to work out. Check out them buns of steel. Yep. So glad to get that. And I picked up Shriek. I don't remember if he was in the first. I think he's in the second video. So you haven't seen the fact that I've got him yet. I picked this up from Target in Tennessee. And when they came out with the unmasked version, the masked versions just like went away, which the unmasked versions are not Build-A-Figures, and so they are slightly cheaper. However, the masked version had the Build-A-Figure, and a lot of the figures that I get, I like to get the Build-A-Figure that goes with it. So this one actually has the Build-A-Figure. Overall, I like the McFarlane figures better. Oh yeah, Apex is totally nostalgic for sure. So overall, I like the McFarlane figures better than I do the Marvel Legends figures. It like DC as a whole is really leaning into that Batman right now. So admittingly, that's probably one of the reasons why I like it so much. But I do overall like the figures better. I feel like they're better made. They just feel better made. The packaging is better. By that, I mean, you got a card. I put them in a card album. It's not a big deal. What's going on, dude? How are you? But overall, they feel better. They have a stand. They come with a stand, and that is a big plus because for any of you that collect figures out of the box, you know that these figures do not typically stand, and some little gnome somewhere comes and will knock them down, and they're like dominoes at night. You come back in the next morning, and they are all falling over. so Shriek is... Sorry about that. Shriek is not the Shriek Green Ogre, but he is a character from the Batman Beyond universe. So this is Shriek here. Again, this is the masked version. And typically these do, for the Build-A-Figures, I think they're like, depending on where you get them from, 20 to 25 bucks. This was actually $8, so I caught it on sale. Kind of a spoiler for the video when you see, if you watch the video where I showed this off, the other Build-A-Figure that I needed, piece, they had actually already put it out, but Target wouldn't sell it to me. up. So yeah, Target wouldn't sell it to me because it was pre-release date. And so what do? So I've already got the legs for the Build-A-Figure for this line. They came in the Batgirl Beyond. These are the arms. Both of the arms. And then the Blight that was supposed to was one piece. And then the other one, this really kind of sucked. So what I was saying with the unmasked version of Shriek, they did with Batman Beyond, but there was absolutely nothing different between Batman Beyond that had the Build-A-Figure and the one who didn't. So I get the Build-A-Figure one, and then or the non-Build-A-Figure one, and then lo and behold, right after that, they come out with the Build-A-Figure. I'm like, that really just sucks. You should have done the opposite. So with these Sonic screws here, but anyways, so this gives the effect of him having those sound wave type deals coming out of his gloves. Again, just feels like a really solid figure. All the same points of articulation are there. You want a figure, if you collect figures, you want a figure that has that flexibility, but it's not too loose. Really like this right here. So he can spread his arms back like that. And they thought enough to do the little thinner plastic or more flexible plastic. So when he done it, it didn't look all clunky. It actually looks like it was meant to do that. So shout out and props to McFarlane and those. I will say this, that McFarlane has been taking a lot of my money. Been taking way too much of my money. Oh, thanks, Thomas Z. Hi to your wife as well, Mrs. Thomas Z. Hopefully everything's going good. Another channel member there. And so another figure to add. I got to get some of my figures out. So all of them come with a card. Sometimes it's a painted card, an excerpt from a comic, and in this case, it's actually the action figures themselves. And then it comes like a little stat thing like those cards do. So Target tells me, says, well, yeah, you can order that one offline. I said, well, I prefer not to because y'all just cancel my order if you accidentally oversell yourself. So he's like, well, that's fair enough. And he said, that's fair enough. So I've got to figure out something with my X-Men because they're multiplying faster than Catholic rabbits over there. Yeah. And all of mainly the DC McFarlane figures, but my Transformers, my Pops are up there too. Some Star Wars figs. I mean, I've got a whole bunch of the Black Series stuff over here because I haven't brought myself to be able to unbox them because the packaging is just so nice too. But then I had a shelf over there that I put the X-Men on, and this one X-Men led to another. That's how it works, right? And then when you add on things like this, they really don't get any kind of deal. So I have had the Dark Knight's Death Metal motorcycle. I've got it, and I've got the White Knight motorcycle that are parts of the McFarlane line. Yeah, they're just like girls. They just want to have fun. I get it, but still. Well, that was the end of that. I just broke the razor on that. So we got to figure out something else. So this is, oh, pops out. There we go. So even the, this one actually has a little sleeve that goes in. So even the figure, the accessories, if you will, Pop's Attic. What's going on? Yeah, now he's doing it in a different way. Hey, which is a good business sense thing to do, right? But now he is got the Bat Raptor. This is what this is from, and I'm trying to. The Batman Who Laughs #1 is the first appearance of the Bat Raptor, I guess, and it actually pull it out. I guess if we want to make wider turns, so get a Batman figure, and oh, okay. When the figure goes in, I guess that's when you need to pull it out. So that kind of a cat that stretches. That's right, a cat instead of the bat, right? Maybe Catwoman had her designs in it. Yeah, he's pretty involved in all that stuff, and he's a hype man, just like he's always been. So, yeah. And whereas Marvel Legends, I mean, they're just paying them to. Thomas Z dropping the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, good sir. Let me make it rain in the right direction. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And let me get to this guy behind the stream here. Hudak Comics. What's going on, man?
What's up? How you doing?
How are things down to the south?
It's getting cold.
Getting cold, strange, right? Cold and winter? What is this?
Yeah, we don't get that cold, so I guess winter's starting early. So it's getting cold. I mean, I like the cold though. I'd rather the cold than the heat. I'm a little different on that.
Well, yeah, you can always add clothes. You can only take off so many.
That's what I say at work all the time. I say, yeah, I can handle the cold because I can put more clothes on. But like when it gets hot enough, you only can take so much off before I'm resting myself. So it's like it doesn't work too well, and I don't work in that part of area where you can just take off all your clothes.
Well, you are in New Orleans. I mean, the great there are certain places you could do that kind of stuff.
Well, technically you can't. Technically you can't. Like it's like as I got older, you learn more things, just like traveling. Just like when I went to Jamaica, I found out the tour guy was like, I don't care what people tell you, it is illegal to smoke marijuana. So I was like, okay. I was like, but this is when I was like, I don't think I was like 20 or something. I was like, thank you for telling me. So yeah, because I don't want to go to a Jamaican jail.
Yeah, you never come back. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that. I mean, anything you ever heard people, kind of naming a Jamaican, you always talking about ganja and, smoking some marijuana. And I would have just assumed it was legal down there.
Definitely not. I was like, thank you for telling me that. But it's like, but I can't tell people this. If you ever travel to New Orleans, like New Orleans area, like the city, not outside the city, but if you're in the city, you can't walk around with your alcoholic beverage. That's illegal in like almost the whole country. But I think in Las Vegas and New Orleans are like one of the two places that you can walk around with just walk around with a beer or a drink, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other thing too, most people that are not close to New Orleans think of New Orleans in the sense of Bourbon Street.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's the French Quarter. I mean, the French Quarter is the French Quarter, but it's not that way through all of New Orleans. So
I always tell it's like that's not all of New Orleans because you got to think about it. It's a street. It's like the key word in that in that whole sentence is Bourbon Street. So it's not the city. So just if you do something crazy on Bourbon Street and you try to do that on Frenchman Street, it might not go down the same way. Just saying. He said, I said something. Yeah, locally on the beach. Yeah, I know that. That's why I said that story, because my tour guide was like, yes, people sell it openly, blah, blah, blah. You'll see it growing on the side of the road, which I do have a picture on one of my albums that I live wheel driving, and I said, "Look at that! There's marijuana outside the road," and I took a picture of it. But it's like, yeah, but they wanted to tell us that because we're not locals. We're, you're tourists. Yeah, I don't want to, even though it's people are doing it and have it around. I don't want to be the one guy, the police officer's not having a good day. He's like,
I'm gonna make an example of you, boy.
Yeah. All you see is American in jail in Jamaica over pounds of marijuana, because that's what it'll come out to be. It'll be like he had pounds of marijuana. You're like, I have that picture. Because they ain't gonna take a good picture of it. I'm like, oh my God, what happened to who that? He's like,
yeah, man, what happened?
I don't know. We got to do a GoFundMe because he
get him out of jail.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, and it can't. That does add new meaning to the word tourist traps there. But when I went to Thailand, I didn't learn this until I got back. So thankfully, I was not in the market for a watch. But they'll have little kids peddling stuff, as they do in a lot of these foreign countries. Little kids peddling things. Well, in Thailand, it's a big deal for kids to come up to you, propositioning you. Okay, but you not know it because they say watch. So you're thinking, okay, well, he's gonna take me to this watch store, because I did go in Thailand, this place where they were doing like these fake Louis Vuittons and things like that. And it's still on the DL, you got to ask a certain way, and they take you this thing and they push this mirror, and the mirror come aside and you walk up these steps. Legit.
I know that's like a place in New York.
Exactly. Yeah, New York, same way. Yeah. And but these little kids will say, watch. Well, they're taking you to a place where you can have underage, relationships. I would have just been naive. I'm like, yeah, I need a watch.
Yeah, I like a watch. And you point at, you be like, where the hell am I?
What's going on here?
It's like, no.
That reminds me. Was it Lamont or was it Fred that was in that they answered the ad that time for porno?
Oh, that was Fred.
Yeah,
that was Fred, and they thought it was him and I think Grady. It was him.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, they thought it was something else, and it was a porno. It was a porno. He was like, whoa.
That was the same thing, man.
Which is funny about Fred Sanford, to go on a tangent about him. He is wildly like into like the women and all that stuff. But when that popped up, he was like, oh. So it's like make up your mind. You do the other show when you're calling the girls up and all the guys coming over, and y'all are trying to get the girl drunk so y'all can have a good time. And then you do the other episode. It's like, oh, wait, we get paid for it? I don't want that.
I think he's probably like some of these old guys. They like to talk about it, but if a girl ever came on to them, they couldn't do nothing with it.
It happened a few times on the show, like when Della Reese was on there, and she like gave him a kiss on the cheek, and he was like freaking out. And then, so I could talk all day about. That's one of my favorite shows.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't know it. If anybody ever did a interview with me, but that's one of my favorite shows. Like when I was young, I actually got like all the box sets of like the whole seasons.
So I didn't know this until the other day. I seen this deal, but Red Fox's brother was named Fred G.
I didn't know that.
And that's where they named the character after, was his brother.
I didn't know that. I did not know. But one thing you do, if everybody looks up Red Fox, and then looks at the Fred Sanford character, they look like two different people. Just because like when he was Red Fox, he was like cleanly shaved. Yeah. But when he looked like he did the part. He lived that part as Fred. Like he looked like a junk man. He had the scruff. Cause he had the beard that wasn't trimmed, tamed. It was just all over the place, and the hair. He was like losing hair, but he didn't care. And it's like I was like, man.
Yeah, and I don't remember, and maybe he was in a lot more stuff. I'm just not remembering. But what was that movie? Him and Arsenio Hall and like Eddie Murphy and all them played in.
That was Harlem Nights.
And so that's the only other thing I remember him in. And I'm like, man, this is a totally different character than what I'm used to seeing him in.
He basically played. To me, he played Fred Sanford, but upper class because he Della Reese in the show in the movie actually called him a blind. Well, they were actually, I think they were dating, but he like called him a blind bat, and like basically in the TV show, what's his name? Lamont's aunt was basically called him stuff when he was blind
Esther.
and stuff too. Yeah, Esther basically messed with him because he was blind.
Yeah, it's method acting. I mean, when an actor can get into the part like that. Like when Grady got 2 US or SS.
Yeah, they went partying. I think if I remember correctly, they went partying. Like you can't spend the other check. Like you got to let them know. I think y'all made a mistake. Like, oh my god, like dude, like that's a good show. I don't, that's one of my favorite comedy shows that dealt with a lot of issues, dealt with a lot of stuff, and
oh yeah.
And if you don't really pay attention to it, you just laughing. And you're like, wait, you're actually talking about some stuff, like you know. And he talked about stuff back in the day that people were like, whoa, like when he brought up the thing about the traffic court, he was like. He's like, what you talking about? You don't see all these in here? He's like, he said they got enough in here to make a Tarzan film. I was like, when I saw that episode, I was like, I don't know if I should laugh, but it's true. I was like,
it's funny because what's culturally acceptable now is not now. So there's that. But
you can't say that joke now. You say that joke now, and you'll be canceled immediately.
That's right.
Like, even back then, that was kind of a touchy thing. Like, when he did it, I remember him talking about that episode, and it was like not something that was really, they were kind of nervous about doing it.
Yeah. Well, it's like a lot of comedians. I know the most recent one that comes to my mind is Dave Chappelle, but it's like, if we can't laugh at ourselves and things that go on, what's this world?
It's comedy. It's at the end of the day, it's comedy. Either you're gonna like it or you're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
They're gonna touch on social issues. They're gonna talk about political stuff. They're gonna talk about their life. Which the Dave Chappelle thing actually it was about his life.
Right.
He didn't talk about somebody else. He didn't make fun of somebody else. It wasn't political. He talked about his life and what his experience was. And if we can't share those experiences, it's over for the human race. It's like we need to be able to share, like, because everybody has different things, and if people do research on Dave Chappelle, they would find out that he just doesn't know a lot of stuff, but he done a lot of stuff for the person that opened up his act and all that stuff. He did a lot of stuff for, I think it was her daughter. He did a lot of stuff for her daughter, and people don't realize that. He's like, he can't wait. He's like, I think on the show he actually said, I can't wait till I can hand her that check, when she gets a certain age. I forgot what it was.
Well, and people are just so quick to jump to conclusions and think somebody's one way because of something that they said. It's just crazy. But I mean, like we're going back to Sanford and Sons and any shows of that era. You could touch on that stuff, very subtle little things. And then going back, like when you get to be an adult, if you went back and saw it now, you would see things that you didn't see when you were younger. You're like, man, I just totally missed that. Right. But the way they dealt with it was they didn't slam it into anybody's face. It was just kind of that subtle thing out there, make you think, and then we're moving on.
Yep.
And a lot of times in this day and age, comics, they can't get that right. Comics have always been political. Comics have always been political. It's just they're so overtly one side or another now. Whereas before it was kind of that subtle thing, kind of like with the Sanford and Sons,
Yeah. I loved back in the day kind of when they talk about both sides or both, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because it just makes you like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's just funny. It's just like, you know who did it a lot. What's up, Big Will? Lewis Black. He used to do a lot of his comedy special. He used to grab the morning paper, and he would get the paper and he would read it and talk about it. And his act, a couple of his acts would be talking about the paper he read that morning. He like when you read it or when he does it, you're like, really? This.
Well, comedy is almost all delivery, right? And you can have good content and just not deliver it right and it not hit home right. But yeah, it's truth is stranger than fiction. So to be able to read that paper,
I would define comedy as delivering the truth in a way that is unexpected. Because if you think about it, almost every great comedian, you listen to him and forget about the delivery. You're like, well, hey, that makes sense. He's right.
Yeah.
Like Carlos Mencia, for example. He says a lot of stuff, and the way he says it's, whew, but if you think about it, most of the time he's right.
Yeah, and comedians are like Hudat said earlier, you either like it or you don't. And, if you don't, guess what? There's 100 other ones out there that you might like.
Yeah. And a lot of them are brilliant people, just maybe not in the normal way. Like a lot of them are dyslexic or they have ADD or they have something else and they can't do like book learning, but they're actually really smart.
Oh, man, just some of the delivery on some of these comedians. I mean, to be able to stand up in front of stage and then a lot of times they're interacting with the audience and just be able to be quick-witted like that and to come up with stuff. Yeah, it's great.
That's why I wish we had not like Saturday Night Live, but I wish we had some of these old sketch comedies back, like In Living Color and Mad TV and even the Chappelle Show. Like I wish we had some of that stuff back, but it's
I'd be happy with Who's Line being on a major network.
Yeah, I don't think any of those would be coming back just because of today's issues and they'd get canceled so fast because even Dave Chappelle joked about it on his first episode. His first episode, I'm watching it, I'm dying laughing. He's like, he comes back from commercial break. We're not canceled yet. He goes, I made a skit about a black white supremacist who's blind, a blind black white supremacist whose name was Clayton.
And then he either divorces or disowns or beats his wife because she married a black man and didn't tell him.
He goes, they said what at the end of it says, Clayton, I asked him, why did you divorce your wife after 15 years? I remember the whole episode. Why'd you divorce your wife after 15 years? He goes, because she was a lover. I was like, and then he goes, and this is the end of the Dateline, whatever. And I was like, and he's like, man, I'm not gonna be on here for too much longer.
Well, his deal with Comedy Central, which some people might not realize this, but basically, he's got a good contract with Netflix, and they got to pay him regardless. So that's one of the reasons why Netflix is sticking up for him. They're like, hey, if we're gonna, we're getting a lot of publicity, but we got to pay this man either way. But he really didn't have that great of a contract with Comedy Central, and so he was very particular. This new one, but the N-word family, I laughed so much because here he is. It's just the way that they just. It was hilarious. It was
because he was like, he was basically telling the truth on that. It's like, how would that work if a white family was named? And he's like, well, let's see. He like, oh my God, like you just think about it and stuff. And like, in those are the episodes I think about the most. But the episodes that got the best views or the people love the most are the Charlie Murphy episodes. And that was just real life because Charlie Murphy just said, "This is what happened in my life being Eddie Murphy's brother." And I had to kick what's his name? I had to kick his ass. He said, and that's what he said. Charlie Murphy taking karate with the little kids. was like, oh my god. Rick James. That's what I was thinking. Rick James. Oh my god. Rick James. I got into Rick James from Dave Chappelle. I knew about his. I knew his music. Like, sir, I knew a couple of his songs. You know, a couple of the songs, Super Freak and all that stuff. But I was like, man, I started getting more into Rick James after the show, and then that's when I found out he fell in love with the one lady who ended up actually dying. I think she died, and then he died like a year later, which is crazy. But yeah,
I don't understand anymore, man. How is it that why can we not admit there's differences between us and still get along? Like, I mean, I don't know if you know this, Houdat, but you're black, Southern evolving. I'm fat. I get reminded every day.
But look, no. And I can go crazy about this. Like, this is I love talking about it because this is funny to me. Like, me and my wife go out all the time. She noticed stuff more than me. I just walk around like ain't nothing wrong with me, and she'll look at people and tap me and say, "They're looking at you." So what you mean they're looking at you? I say, yeah, they're trying to figure out what you are. And I was like, what? So at a point now it's just comical to me. I just wait for her to tell me. She said, "Yeah, that couple over there. I can tell them staring at us. They don't know. They're trying to figure out what are you." And from time to time, people do ask me. They never guess. Like, they'll see my last name and they was like, "How you say that?" I said, "All right." I say, "What is that? Indian?" I've heard first time I've heard Indian. Somebody asked me Asian one time. I was like, they asked me everything but the correct stuff. And I'm just like, no. I just sometimes I get so tired. I say, "I'm just black." No, you're lying. No, you're not. It's like, why would I lie? It's like
yeah.
I'm in America in 2021. Why would I lie? I was like, you know what? Yeah, you win.
Yeah, I like. You guys like Steve Harvey? I like his.
Oh
yeah. I like what he said. That there's a lot of difference between white people and black people, but especially up north. You get down south, it's not as many differences, but up north there's a lot. And then he goes and tells a story, and I think that's very true because I notice people up there, and the craziness that they do, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not a problem down here, So I think.
You haven't had too many issues like you would think. I mean, a lot of times, I feel like a lot more people down here keep to themselves. I mean, but they're a little bit more polite in the South,
and also don't care that much either.
That too. Like me, I always tell people, like, "Hey man," like I tell people, "Hey, when I'm off of work, as long as you're not in my property, I don't care what you're doing down the street." Yeah. I don't care. I mean, once you bring it to my domain, then I gotta handle it. But I'm not handling it as my job. I'm handling it as my homeowner.
I also think we handle things better down here than they would up there. Like, for example, I was with a coworker. We were sort of buddies while at work, at least. And I'm obviously why he was happened to be black. And we were at the drink machine, and he was wanting to get himself a drink, and I kind of noticed I noticed which one he picked, and it didn't work. So he asked me for a dollar, straight dollar, crisp dollar, to try for the machine. And I hand it to him. I go, "So what flavor are you gonna get?" And he started smiling and goes, "I'm getting the grape." And I go, "I know, I got me one too." Grape goes the grape drink. If you never had it, it's grape drink.
He did a skit on that too, Dave. And it actually wasn't about the grape drink. He was like he did another skit, and he said, "You ever seen that video where the kid opened up the fridge and he's like, oh, we got some this stuff, we got some purple stuff," and he said, "And you got some Sunny D," and then the kids goes, "Yeah, Sunny Kid." And he said, "You see that black kid? He looking at that purple drink." He said, "I'd be the kid, be like, man, I don't want no Sunny D. Give me that purple stuff." Yeah, so I love Dave Chappelle. I know I like literally quote his whole stuff, bro. Like, that's one of my favorite comics. I used to like George Carlin when he was still alive, because he talked a lot about regular stuff.
There's parts of George that I like, and then other parts that I didn't like, just because of his personal beliefs. But his jokes were great. Richard Pryor, excellent. Bill Cosby, I mean, we hate him now, but that doesn't throw into the fire his old stuff.
Some of his stand-up, I hate to say it, is probably some of the best, like stand-up. Like some people like say, I hate to say it, but Bill Cosby's like, like I can't. You telling the truth? I'm sorry. I mean, like I'm not agreeing with what he did.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm not.
I don't know of another comedian that can make me laugh as hard as Bill Cosby for just someone coughing weird in the audience, and all he does is and that's it.
You know what else? You ever watch? I don't know if you've seen the Richard Pryor one when he was in New Orleans. I think it was like Bourbon Street or something, live in Bourbon Street. He did Rich because I got the DVD. It's like a 2-box DVD. Yeah. But he was in New Orleans, and people, if you ever been in New Orleans, people know what's up, Ron's age. You ever come to New Orleans? People just we're not rushing to get anywhere. We get there when we get there. Down here, we're not a big rush. So like there are people walking in late for the show, and Richard Pryor said, like, look at these, they just coming in. He's like, I just come when I feel like. He's just talking about it. He's like, that's how it is, New Orleans. He's like, damn right.
Yeah. I mean, I love watching stand-up comedy. I don't know why other people don't like it, because I think it'd cure a lot of the world's problems if they did. But I like watching Steve Harvey, all the guys we mentioned. I like Sinbad.
Sinbad is really good.
Yeah, Sinbad's pretty good. He's all about that 70s, man. That's his thing. And there's other comedians that like Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. Love me some Fluffy, man. I've actually seen him in person before. And then there's all the other minor guys, and there's a whole bunch of them. There's guys that are, I don't know if you've ever heard of Dry Bar Comedy here on YouTube, but it's all comedians that are clean. In other words, they don't have anything dirty or anything. And a lot of them are great because they can't sink below that line, so they have to be funny or else. So a lot of them are really.
That's why good. That's why I like those shows. Like what is it, like X Factor? Not X Factor. What's the show with the X's? America's Got Talent. Yeah. When they have a comedian on there, to me, once you get on there and you make them laugh and you get through like a couple of rounds, to me they should win automatically, because for them to do their material and still make you laugh without anything bad or going anything dark or anything crazy, that's it.
Have you seen? Did you see the episode where they had the guys that were the karate people from like Florida or someplace, and they kept turning around looking for attackers? Remember that? You see that?
That sounds funny though.
No, you gotta watch it. It's Howie and Howard. Both of them loved it. They were like, these guys need to go. We need to make them like the best. They need to win this thing. And the ladies couldn't get it. But one of them was talking to give them another chance. So they only got 2 things that you can see on YouTube. But it is the funniest. Dude, you've got to see it. You know what? Y'all talk about something else. I'm going to look up the title of it so I can tell you.
Talk about something else. I just came on here because he was showing things and I was packing, and I bombarded him with Sanford and Son comedy shows and talking about me getting noticed in public.
Well, I just now got all my packing done, and everyone's paid except one person. Wink, 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 wink. But yeah.
I was like, wait, I think I left.
So everything will be shipped today.
Yeah, who does?
I just got to print labels, is all. So that's why I just
you got to make sure you get that money from that guy who that.
Yeah, that's why Big Will really came on. You know, it was that subtle nod.
Subtle wink, wink.
Oh, yeah, wink, wink. Well, and so talk about Bill Cosby. You know, he did a comedian thing back in the day, and he was talking about how he could drug these women's
These women's
these women drinks, you know, and so that he could do whatever he wanted to with them. Of course, that got brought up after the fact, and all that stuff got brought out. But it's like he was joking about it right there in front of you, and you never even thought nothing about it.
Oh man, it's fun. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot going on. Funny stuff.
Okay, I found it. You know what? I'm just going to share it in the chat if that's all right with you, Southern.
All right.
Because it's just amazing. And let's see here. Share. And I'm going to copy. All right. I will now put it in the thing. And anyway, yeah. But who that? No, you can't. You never bought anything the other night.
I know. That's why I was making a joke.
I know, but I love how you're like, okay, what do I owe? I can't post a comment unless I pull up the YouTube, so I just put it in the private chat.
Okay. So so I've got a call at 4:00, fellas. Appreciate you jumping on. Appreciate anybody that is watching here too. Let me copy and paste this. What's going on, bub? So so I'm fixing to have to get out of here. So I did repost that link that Big Will was talking about in the chat for anybody who's interested in that. But I know, of course, you had your auction last night, Big Will. Anything that you want to mention? Anything still for sale? People can go check out and.
If something didn't sell, you can ask me about it, but probably prices have changed, and I usually don't worry about it if nothing sells and do something later with them. But yeah, if anyone's curious, they can ask.
So I am planning on doing what we talked about in Huntsville.
Oh, okay.
So
getting a table.
Yeah.
Oh, I just guessed.
Yeah.
I just guessed. I was like, get the table. Because I'm thinking about getting a table for New Orleans Fan Expo. I am very much thinking about it.
When is that?
January 7th, 8th, and 9th.
So is that Fan Expo like the Dallas Fan Expo and all that too? That's part of the same
thing? They bought Wizard World out. Mm-hmm. So they're only going to do shows at the Wizard World's most profitable conventions.
Okay.
Which New Orleans was number 1 and Chicago was number 2, which they already do. I think a Fan Expo in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. So they're probably just going to make it a little bit bigger. They might do 2 in Chicago. Who knows? But yeah, I know they're doing New Orleans. It's still Chicago, Boston. So it's in Dallas. They still got the Dallas one. So yeah, they're coming down. I talked to a few of the big dealers. They're actually coming down for that event. So that's why I'm really thinking about getting a table, because it's like, hey, if I get a table and I price stuff right, a dealer might walk up to me and give me a check for everything.
Right.
So that's why I'm really thinking about it, doing it.
Well, we were thinking more along the lines of bringing a lot of dollar books and whatnot.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing, because a lot of books, I don't have a lot of books, but some of the books I have, the dealers might have, and their dealer's not going to compete with me if I'm 10% under GPA and they're 20% over. So that's why I was thinking about getting a table and possibly selling out. So I was thinking about selling out, going to get a table, but I think me and Yahweh might do it, but I'm not sure. So that's the big thing I'm thinking about doing. I'm at least going to it though. So Southern, if you go to it, I'll definitely be there. But I haven't decided if I'm gonna get a table or not.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know about it, but yeah, I will more than likely be there since it ain't but right down the road.
And they got 2 conventions. This throws this craziness out. They got the big one, which I'm talking about, the Fan Expo. Then MegaCon or whatever? Not MegaCon, Mighty Con. MightyCon's doing a convention the same weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Pontchartrain Center.
Okay.
Which I was like, I don't think they planned that out correctly, because nobody's gonna go to the MightyCon unless you're local. Local people might go, but I know I'm not going. I'm gonna go to the big convention.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're gonna keep that date or not, but they have 2 conventions.
If you manage to get you a table there, I wish you all the best. We're going like dollar book route, kind of, bringing some long boxes is what we were thinking.
Yeah, I won't be doing too heavy stuff. It'd be like, like, oh, here's a $300 book that a dealer over here is selling for $500. I think I'll buy it from you. So yeah. So it'd be like that. Good night, VV.
See you later,
VVs like across the country.
Yeah, I had and probably sell like I bought an extra copy of Giant Size X-Men 1 just to hold on to. So depending on how the market for that's doing at that point, I'll probably bring some books like that, try to pay for the table, and then make the money on the dollar stuff.
I've got some magazines I was thinking about doing, as well as a few slabs just on something there at the table.
Yeah.
Bring a box.
How much is the table there again? I forgot. I know Big Will told me once.
$350.
Okay, it's a lot cheaper than Fan X. Fan X was like 500 something. Which is
they
not
got to pay for all them celebrities there.
Yeah, because they got Ron Perlman, the guy who played
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker. They've been announcing a lot of people, so it's a good little bit of people actually.
Hey, we got our little Eastman and Starlin and a couple others, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I don't know if Eastman's coming here. That'd be nice.
Yeah, Eastman's going to be in Huntsville next year, so that's going to be a big.
He's actually cheap to get, just to let people know who actually have shops. I know Amber has a shop. I shouldn't say he's cheap. He's not like it'll cost you like $20,000, because I know a shop that I think you frequently gone to Showcase.
Mm-hmm.
He's gone there, and they told me it was like $5,000, and you pay for his hotel. He wants first class tickets to fly down. That's it. That was it. I was like, that's actually not that bad.
No, not for somebody like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that could generate you way more than the 5,000 you put into.
I don't know, man. It depends on how much. You'd have to do the math on how many customers you think would be in there and what they would buy versus how much that's going to cost to get it.
They pre-sold tickets, so I guess they figured it out, and they pre-sold tickets. And the tickets got you like two autographs. So if you wanted more, you have to buy another ticket.
That's actually a smart way to do it, because it doesn't overwhelm. By the way, Southern, if you need to leave, the thing will still be here for me and Houdat to end the
randomly talk.
We're doing rambling here. If you want to go ahead and end it and go, but that's actually a great idea, because that won't overwhelm the talent. Because there's that one idiot that'll bring in 37 books,
right?
If you let them.
Well, but then if you have the other TMNT books on hand, for people that might not have something to get signed, a lot of TMNT merchandise there.
Yeah. Plus,
that guy.
Go ahead.
That guy that he's talking about, he puts on a con/toy show there, Showcase Con there in New Orleans. And
I know.
I used to get some good deals from him. Last time I went, I had the same experience you had. I didn't really talk about it. I had the son looking on eBay and then pricing stuff on eBay, but he was there. The dad was there, and I was like, I put stuff away when he was doing the ones he did it on. I put those away. And then the biggest book I got out of that whole bunch was the Spider-Man and Friends. I forgot who the first appearance was, but it was a newsstand copy. Yeah, he just threw it. He's like, "Oh, this $5. I know it's a first appearance, so it's $5." And I'm like, "This is the guy I'm used to."
Yeah,
like you get a pack, the back account, he just goes, this much. And you're like, all right, here you go. And that's the guy I like. And so when he threw that in, he ended up coming back at 9.8. And I was like, all the other stuff, I don't know what I did with it, or I don't even have it anymore, but that's the one I kept because I thought it was so nice, and it was the first appearance. So, and it came back at 9.8. So I was just like, this is the guy I love. Paid $5 for a book that's $700 and something.
So Southern, you said you're thinking about probably doing it, or you've decided to do it.
Yeah, I decided to do it. I just haven't bought it yet.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Would you have a use for that second ticket, or are you going to go in with me and we join together?
Well, you already bought your tickets, right?
Yeah, I know, but I can get rid of it very well too. Like there's a certain someone in the chat who would be going, and unless they've already bought their ticket, I could help them out.
Well, if we were going to split the booth, I mean, I just split the ticket. I think that'd be only right too.
All right. Well, in that case,
that's a long flight for VV though. VV, I don't know. That's a long.
Hey, Carolyn, have you bought your ticket yet for the show?
So Lady Fantastic, she's at work being bad.
Yeah.
And she actually found a Roy Thomas signed book at the shop the other day. It was $3, 20% off $3.
Nice. For Huntsville next year in April. It's April. What's the dates? It's the end of April.
Is it? I thought it was the first part of April. Let's see.
No, I think it's the end of April. Anyway, long story short, you said you were going last time I asked. So if you are going, I got your ticket for you if you want.
It's April 22nd through the 24th.
Yeah. So if you go, you can just show up and I'll hand you my ticket and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's what I did with Foo and also Flash by Night. They bought my extra tickets last year.
Oh, she'll be there. All right. Well, then don't buy your ticket. I'll hand you one for free. You'll be good to go.
She yelled it. I'll be there.
Yeah, it's my own fault for thinking of this later, so I'll just let you have my ticket.
There you go.
Because Southern's, the table he gets comes with 2 dealer passes, and he's one person, so I could get that one. So that means I don't need the one I bought.
Yeah.
You're gonna get in trouble at work, lady. All that yelling. Oh, we don't want to keep you, Southern. I know you got something else to do. We can chat offline.
So talking about funny thing about Lady Fantastic. So not only does she go in the store, which she's a frequent visitor of this store there in Nashville, but she's rubbing it in basically that, hey, I just found a signed book and y'all don't even do anything about it. And they're like, hey, what'd you get? Oh yeah, I just got this signed book from you for little to nothing. So typically when I take that back. So what's his name that puts on the Huntsville Comic Expo? I was doing this to the people that were working with him because they were trying to get out ahead of me in the boxes.
Yeah, they were trying to reprice because they hadn't.
Yeah. And so I was telling them what I bought, but I was at least waiting a day. Like I bought it yesterday. I didn't want them to take it out of my hand or nothing. So Jeremy, I couldn't think of his name, but yeah, Jeremy, and one was his brother, and then the other guy was just a guy they knew.
I usually don't tell anybody anything. I'll just like the story I said about the 5-star.
Yeah.
I was saying it's first time saying anything about it because I was just like, hey, that was a win. Or like when I found the He-Man book, I just like, it's kind of, like, all right.
Well, that's his own fault. I would.
Well, no, well, it's a little bit of both because some stuff is priced and then they still look it up on eBay. So what's the point of you looking the stuff you already have priced on eBay? And he did that with a couple of books I actually had, and I was like, nah, I'm good, But when he threw that one in for $5, I was like, I'll definitely take that. I mean, I don't know what it's worth, but first appearance in a newsstand that looks like a 9.4 at best. I said, I'll take it.
Now, the people I tell is the ones that makes me laugh the most, like Who Dat, buying from Who Dat, and I tell him when I do something. Like I bought them 2 Mickey books from him. One of them come back at 9.8, the other one come back at 9.9.
Yeah,
I didn't even know who you bought it from. I was like,
I bought both of them from you.
Yeah, I didn't know at first. I was like, huh? What? I always got to throw it in there because you and Baki buy stuff from me because he bought stuff from me before, and then he's like, yeah, I got this from Who Dat, came back at 9.8, and I was like, Like, why you gotta say it like I got this from?
And-
You see, he bought it off an auction, and he doesn't say, and I'm just like, I don't. Hey, it's a win. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Well, so who dat? Big Will, y'all got anything going on y'all's channels that you want to put out there to the masses? And
No. I am resting for a while. I don't have anything planned for the next week.
I got one auction in a couple of weeks. That's it for the year. That's gonna be on my channel, and then I'll just drop some random videos throughout before the end of the new year, stuff like that. Oh, I got my drawing. I got my drawing for my what you call it, the people who join button. I got the drawing for that tomorrow.
Super chat?
No, not the super chat. Member, channel member.
Yeah. Oh, I will have a video called my after action report. I'm going to do that again where I go over profit and loss of the auction that I just did. Although I won't be naming names of people and all that. I know when to not do that.
Yeah, the names have been changed to protect the guilty. I got you. Well, we are. Hey, look, we were getting some steals last night. I would have got some more steals, but John and a couple other folks were up in the chat, and then they got those other strangers.
I know. I wish there was more people in there, but hopefully I got enough interest that if I do one in maybe January, February, I'll be able to do it again with better books, more books, and maybe some more people will join in.
Yeah. Well, so we do have an auction here on this channel tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time. Lady Fantastic, who's in the chat, and then a couple of other folks will be there with us. So if you are interested in that, come join us. Hit that bell notification. Maybe YouTube will do its job. If not, follow me on Instagram, the Southern Comic Geek there. And while you're at it, follow me on Whatnot as well, so I can do random auctions there on Whatnot, because I have got a bunch of books, and I'm going to try to sell between now and the end of the year to get them out into some good homes. But also, channel member / YouTube giveaway is this Amazing Spider-Man 252 85 newsstand copy, first appearance of the black suit. If you want to get in on that, you got to do a super chat between now and the end of the year, and live shows like this one or the auction tonight. One entry per $1, and then also the membership. You get 10 entries per membership, so you can join via YouTube or Patreon or both. The links are in the description below. I do appreciate each and every member, appreciate every viewer, and if you haven't already, smash that like button as we get out of here. Thanks for joining us today, gentlemen and ladies. Till next time.